So this is the question that we have on the screen. So let's look at how we are going to solve this question. So you have to determine the velocity of the tugboat directly after the rope becomes taut. Okay, so let's look at these two words, the slack and the taut. Okay, let's take note of these two words. Okay, so let's say I have a rope here. Okay, I have a rope here. It is joined between, let's say, two supports. Okay, so this rope here, when it is loose, okay, you see that it is loose. Okay, when it is loose, I'll say that the rope is slack. Okay, I'll say that the rope is slack. But let's say in a situation whereby the rope very, very becomes very, very tight, okay, or rigid, we say that the rope is what? Taut. Okay, so that's what is happening there. So since from the beginning the rope was slack, okay, and then we asked to calculate the velocity of the tugboat when the rope becomes taut. What will happen here is that initially both the tugboat and then the barge boat will be moving at different velocities because the rope is slack. But as soon as the rope becomes taut, they will start moving at the same velocity because one will be pulling the other. Okay, so they'll be moving with the same velocity. Okay, so that's what this means. So let's look at how you are going to calculate this. Then you are going to use the principle of conservation of what momentum to answer this question. So let's go ahead. So you've been given the mass of the tugboat, which is m sub t, to be equal to 19 megagrams, and then the mass of the barge boat, that is also given as 6 megagrams. Okay, and then the initial velocity of the barge boat, okay, which are named as VB, is given as 5 kilometers per hour. Okay, and then that of the tugboat is given as 10 kilometers per hour. Okay, so let's look at how you are going to solve this question. Okay, so applying the principle of conservation of momentum, we know that the sum of the initial momentum should be equal to the sum of what? The final momentum. Okay, so in that case, you are going to calculate for the momentum of the tugboat and that of what? The barge boat. Okay, then we add them. That will be the initial momentum. And then that should be equal to what? The sum of what? Their final momentum. So let's look at it. So you know that momentum is the product of what? Mass and then velocity of what? Of a body. So you're going to have mt vt, okay, plus mb vb, okay, which is the initial momentum, and that should be equal to the final momentum. And then for the final momentum, since the rope joining these two boats will become taut, that means they are going to be moving at the same velocity. So you are going to have mt plus mb, okay, multiplying the final velocity. Okay, so let's look at what is happening here. In the question, we were told that the tugboat is moving to the left. Okay, the tugboat is coasting to the left, and then the barge boat is moving to the right side. Okay, so what happens here is that they have different directions. Okay, they are moving at what? Different directions. So I have to consider one to be in the negative direction and then one to be in the positive direction. So what I'll do is that I'll consider the barge boat to be moving in the negative direction and then the tugboat to be moving in the positive direction since it is what? Coasting. Okay, so let's go ahead. So since you are considering the tugboat to be moving in the positive direction, that means what? Its velocity will be positive, and then that of the barge will be what? negative. So let's fix in our values. So I'm going to have 19 multiplying 10 kilometers, okay, plus the mass of the barge boat, which is what? 6 times the velocity, which will be what? Minus 5. Okay, so this will be equal to the sum of their masses, which will be 19 plus 6 multiplying the final velocity. Okay, so let's go ahead and then simplify this. So 19 times 10, that'll give me a value of 190, and then minus 6 times 5, that gives us a value of what? 30. So let's equate this to what you have on the right hand side. So 19 plus 6, that'll give me a value of 25. Okay, multiplying the final velocity. So let's simplify this. So 190 minus 30, that'll give me a value of what? 160. And then that will be equal to 25 VF. So I'm going to divide both sides by 25 since I want to find the value of what? VF. So this will cancel out this. Then I will have 160 divided by 25, which will give me a value of what? 32 on 5. So I'm going to have VF to be equal to 32 on 5, which is equal to 6.4. So we are going to have the final velocity, okay, VF to be equal to 6.4 kilometers per hour. Okay, and then since the rope has become taut, okay, we know that what the barge boat and then the tugboat are going to have the same velocity. Okay, so therefore the final velocity here is the velocity of the tugboat, and then at the same time the velocity of what? Of the barge boat. So we can see that what? The velocity of the tugboat after the rope becomes taut is what? 6.4 kilometers per hour. Thank you very much for watching this video. Please make sure you like and subscribe.